All right, TGI Friday. A couple little housekeeping issues here. When it comes to parental leave, we're trying like hell. The city does not seem to have the same sense of urgency when it comes to the parental leave. It just goes to show you how much of a hypocrite this mayor is, who stood in front of a microphone a few months ago talking about this incredible benefit that was going to be afforded to the full city workforce, the entire city workforce. Full stop. There was no exemptions. There was no exceptions. Nothing was stated publicly or in the policy in print. But yet, here we are. The parental leave policy does not apply currently to CPD members, sworn, um, and obviously bargaining unit members. I guess it does apply technically to the exempt ranks, but not Lodge 7 members or PVPA members. It also is an issue that Local 2 is experiencing. I understand even the teachers now are having an issue with the city policy. It's ridiculous. How do you come and say this is a policy that's afforded to an entire city workforce because we see a need of new parents being able to bond with their newly born child, newly adopted child, whatever the case may be, but except it doesn't apply to these people because we want to basically get something in exchange for it from them because they're union members. It's inexcusable. It just goes to show you how full of crap this mayor really is. We're fighting it. We're trying to explain to them the logic of a solution here. The dynamic and the difference, I guess, the bridge that needs to be crossed is the 12 weeks being deducted from the medical or not. Now, understand the medical benefit has already been watered down once. When this organization became a union and a bargaining member back in '81, the medical was basically unlimited. That was a benefit that was afforded to the members way back then, from the beginning. In exchange for that benefit, and this is the way negotiations work, you want this, you got to give up something. Well, John Deneen had the foresight to fight for that benefit, and they did give up higher increases in salary to maintain that medical roll benefit back then. It stayed pretty much the same for 3 decades, roughly. And then about a decade ago, it changed from basically unlimited to a year every 2 years, regardless of the injury. As long as you got a doctor saying you can't work, right? Great benefit, phenomenal. But now they want to water it down yet again. And basically, we get nothing in their scenario for their offer of watering it down by counting those 12 weeks now against your medical time. That's not the way the policy was explained, rolled out, or championed. But that's where we're at. The city's position is that comes out of your medical time. Our position is it's an entirely separate benefit the mayor championed, and that's exactly the way it needs to be carried out in the department. It needs to be a new benefit coded separately from the medical, period. But we'll see where it goes. We tried partnering with Local 2 and maybe talking about the idea of taking this to court. It's still not a dead issue. Still may end up there. Hopefully it gets resolved before we have to drag it to court. At the very least, it's going to get resolved in arbitration in the next couple weeks, months, as the arbitration process plays out. It is in our proposals. Stay tuned. Again, I'm hopeful that the city rethinks its position with the unions specifically affected by this goofy stance that they've taken, and we at least get the ability for our members to stay home and bond with their children. That's supposedly what this was all about to begin with. But they're robbing members of that right as we speak, and every day goes by is another day our members are not able to stay home and bond with their child, care for their spouse, whatever the case may be, who just went through childbirth. Inexcusable. The other issue, house cleaning, is the rehire program. The city claims again this is something they really want to get worked out, but yet it's been sitting, we're told, at the pension fund to get some clarity on some pension-related issues about rehires and lateral transfers. It shouldn't take that long. The pension fund has 4 elected members for the sworn and 4 city officials. I can guarantee you the 4 elected members from the rank and file and retirees can absolutely dedicate a whole day to resolving whatever that issue is. It's the city officials, apparently, that want to just make it convenient to their schedule instead of just sitting down, resolving the issues, working them out, and getting it done so we can deal with labor relations and getting a policy forward to bring back officers who want to come back to this job. All I can tell you is stay tuned. Hopefully, we have something back in clarity on the pension end of it, and we can start putting pen to paper about a final product next week. Lastly, a lot of these issues are politically motivated. And with an election February 28th, you have the ability as a member or a friend of the police to affect what happens in this city and to this department and its members. So over my shoulder, you'll see an elect Mike Cummings sign. That is not a shot at Matt O'Shea. It is not any negative, connotation to it. This is about change. Mike Cummings was a Chicago police officer for 3 decades. We said as a union that we wanted members specifically or other law enforcement supporting people to run for office and help champion our causes to help save this city and bring it back to its former glory. Mike Cummings answered that call. He invested a lot of his own money into his campaign. Obviously, we're going to support our members every chance we get when we have a qualified candidate with law enforcement experience to help try and get them in the city council. So that's why this lodge endorsed Mike Cummings for alderman of the 19th Ward. There's some other endorsements. They'll be on the website, but I just wanted to kind of touch on that because I know people are trying to make it an issue about we're attacking Matt O'Shea. It is not. That is not the case at all. This is just supporting a law enforcement member and trying to do a little something different to let the other aldermen know what we expect from them. Supporting the police is great. Being outspoken and vocal supporter of the police is even better. That's what we expect from Mike Cummings and the rest of the aldermen who support the police. As far as the mayor's race, the PAC committee met, interviewed all of these candidates, made recommendations to the board of directors. The board of directors on Wednesday voted to accept or reject those recommendations. When it came to the mayor's race, there were only 2 candidates that even sought Lodge 7's endorsement. It was Dr. Willie Wilson and Paul Vallis. The rest of the field clearly decided, screw it, we don't care, we don't support the police, so why would we want their endorsement? There's no other way to look at it. So Paul and Willie, came in and gave an interview. The PAC committee made the recommendation, and the board of directors approved the recommendation to support Paul Vallis for mayor. That is official going forward. He has Lodge 7's endorsement. This is certainly not a knock on Dr. Wilson. Willie has been a gigantic supporter of this lodge, a friend to the lodge, the men and women who wear these uniforms, and God bless him. We wish him the best. We'll see how this mayor's race shakes out. The board just felt that Paul's experience previously in the city government as the budget director and leader of CPS really kind of gave him a heads up and a leg up, I guess you should say, on the competition and specifically Willie about leading this city out of the disaster that it has become over the last 4 years. The full list of endorsements will go out probably Monday. Of all the candidates that we're endorsing, we're still waiting on the police council issues to be resolved before we put those out. Letters are going out to the candidates. If you have any questions, comments, and concerns, obviously address them to the PAC director, Mike Cosentino. His email is on the website. He's in Springfield right now, but I'm sure he'll get back to you as time allows. With that, everybody have a safe weekend. Good night.